Yeah, I don't know. I think honestly, I see Bryan maybe just having a little bit of a tour before he goes to AEW.
Yeah, that's what I
Maybe
mean.
how I would do
go to
it.
Japan, Ring of Honor, wherever.
Yeah, how I would do it is like go to New Japan, and then I'm I'm just gonna say the G1,
Yeah.
but like Bryan in the G1, have him have a run on there, and then just pop up on AEW because he's Daniel Bryan. Just give it a bit of time, let him do stuff. You could even like tease him a little bit on AEW, where like maybe he could go for the New Japan United States belt. Like I don't know if is it North American or United States belt? I can't remember.
It's just United States.
It's US.
Yeah, the US belt. The IWGP US Heavyweight Championship. That's the one. Have him go for that maybe and lose to Tanahashi. I don't think they'd put that on AEW. They could do. I'd love to see some fucking Tanahashi matches on AEW though. Fuck me, that'd be great. He supposedly wants to wrestle at least once a month in America because he wants to build the New Japan brand.
I saw that.
So that could be a good little crossover, that could lead to something Daniel Bryan-y. But no, I don't think he's debuting this weekend. If he is...
Next weekend.
When is All Out?
All Out's 5th of September. It's next weekend.
Oh, it's next weekend. God. I'm just so used to like, oh, WrestleMania was yesterday. Okay, cool. Next weekend is Battlegrounds or Backlash. Sorry, WrestleMania Backlash. And then in a couple weeks, it's a TakeOver and another thing.
Yeah.
Like, with Daniel Bryan going to New Japan, like, that is any wrestling fan's wet dream.
I think it's hardcore wrestling fans' wet dream. It's our
yeah,
wet
that's what I mean. Like,
it's like I'm like soaked right now, like from that. However,
like just not even like just for the caliber of matches he will have, not could have. Like he will have if he goes to New Japan. Like it's matches you haven't seen 1,000 times. Like. Personally, I'll throw this one out there. Like, I think it's everyone's Bryan and Okada in New Japan. Like that. My dream bracket. Bryan could.
While we're going,
Bryan could
straight into the fantasy side of things.
All right, fuck it. We're gonna do.
We'll start at Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson and Okada.
We're gonna be talking about the G1 soon, right? So we're gonna talk about Bryan Danielson in AEW. Not going to AEW. So we'll start with not going to AEW first, right? He goes to New Japan. Dream match is Okada. Now, in the G1, usually it's 2 blocks of 8, and it's like a round robin tournament where everyone wrestles everyone because it's fucking great. And it's a point system. Now, here is my dream. Daniel Bryan, A block, right? Now, you want to face Okada? I do too. However, that is going to be in the A and B block final. Right, you make it the final. Make Okada. I'd probably let Okada win or something, unless they really like Daniel Bryan against Shingo Takagi for the championship, or could be Ospreay at the time. Ospreay has said he's not going to enter the G1 because he thinks he's champ, which sucks because I would like him in the G1, but also his story, isn't it?
Can I ask, has a foreigner ever won the G1?
Kenny.
Oh, Kenny won it. Okay, so maybe Bryan could be the second. I mean,
Kenny won, and then Ospreay won last year. Did he?
Yeah.
Did Ospreay? I think Ospreay. No, who won the G1? I'm gonna get up with the G1 winners. I haven't done my prep for the G1. One.
Well, yeah. I mean, we're a bit premature because we're just strictly talking if Bryan's in it, but I'm sure he'll pop up in our episodes as well. I mean, one match I would have loved, but I don't think it'll ever happen, would have been to see Bryan versus Shibata. Oh, I'd worry for the health, but it would have been
the headbutt versus the flying headbutt.
I'm not sure where he's wrestling at the minute. He might still be in New Japan, but one match I would love to see the two guys who own the Wrestling Observer's Best Technical Wrestler category. Daniel Bryan and Zack Sabre Jr.
That's okay, 100%.
Yeah,
100%. I was dead wrong about Ospreay. I think he was in he might have been in the final with Kota. Kota Ibushi won the last two. My dream, much like you're saying, right? My dream bracket, if we have to pick 7 for him to be the 8th, right? Is Zack Sabre Jr. because it just writes itself, right? I might even have that be like one of the ones he loses as well, just for a future match where you really do the build for that, because that could be fucking amazing. Another one I'd have him lose is this guy right here, Toriano. So that is my second pick. Then obviously, let's put Kota Ibushi in there because fucking why not? Tomohiro Ishii, fucking yes. Minoru Suzuki, Daniel Bryan being beaten half to death and only just getting him on a roll up or something, or catching him in a hold. Oh, mwah, mwah.
How moist?
Who else is probably going? You what?
How moist is your seat right now?
I honestly can't tell where the moisture ends or begins. It's like I'm swimming. I am one with the puddle below me. God, fucking yeah. I mean, it's so hard to pick because I want him to face Takagi. I want him to face Naito. I want him to face everyone. That's the difficult. I think those dream matches though are people like Sabre Jr., where it's you've compared them for so long that I mean it's basically the Daniel Bryan award at this point. And now it's basically become the Sabre Jr. award. Fly.
I'm not gonna deny I really want to see him in New Japan, but given their style, I'd be completely worried about him fucking himself up again. You know what I mean? True.
It is a lighter schedule, apart from the G1, which still isn't actually as bad as a house show schedule.
It's just Bryan isn't the kind to take it easy despite his past health things. I just feel like he would do something really over the top. I'm not necessarily over the top, but he would just do one of their horrific bumps in it, and then all of a sudden he's just on the shelf again.
I think him, much like when Naito and Ibushi wrestle, I think him and Ibushi would be really, really, really painful to watch. I remember I don't wince much when I watch wrestling because a lot of the moves I've taken and it's it hurts, but whatever. However, a bunch of the times I've watched Ibushi and Naito wrestle, I have just cringed and winced and just it's just a bit much. And I don't want them to die because I like them, and I don't want that to happen to Bryan.
Well, they did that horrible. Was it them who did the horrible outside spot at this year's Wrestle Kingdom? I remember.
They've done a couple.
Yeah, I know. I'm sure when I watched Wrestle Kingdom this year, we brought up in the pod. They did this horrible looking bump to the outside, and I was just like, "All right, steady on, lads. Calm down."
Yeah. Do you think New Japan and AEW will ever come to a deal and have the G1 be New Japan versus AEW? Not having AEW bracket and then a New Japan bracket.
Just have some talent
completely mixed, 8 from AEW, 8 from New Japan, and then just mix.
I don't think they'd do that. I think they're more likely to want to do crossovers with their New Japan Strong American brand, because the only title on there is the United States title, right? The US heavyweight. We're this close to getting the never open weight with Jay White, who might be facing Kenny at some point, who I think should be soon on Impact. I don't think they'd ever do a 50-50 split. I think they'd definitely do like a talent share, like 3 of them or something.
I don't know. I could see them doing what they did with WCW in the early 90s, maybe having one pay-per-view where it is meant to be New Japan versus AEW, but then it's going to depend on their relationship and, again, how the booking would go, because
I think if they're going to do that, it needs to be not competition. Yes, it's AEW versus New Japan, but it's like we're the 2 best wrestling companies in the world. It's all about like just the respect between the companies and the wrestlers, rather than we're better than you, we're better than you. And then I think if they book it like that, they would be able to get away with having 10 matches, 5 for Japan, 5 for AEW.
I think AEW would actually say no as well, solely because of the strain it would take, not only for travel, but because in the G1 you wrestle on the days that you don't have a match. Really, you do like a tag match to set up your match, right? Like even when Moxley went over, he just grabbed one of the young lions who happened to be Red Shoes' son, called Shota Umino, and he just called him, "Hey, shooter," and it was great. Genuinely, I loved it. But that kind of thing is just like, that's 2 months of like 8 people you're not getting back. Which, if any wrestling company is equipped to do that, it's AEW, and just push other people and work on other things. But I think that if they do it, it's going to have to be planned for a very long time. It wouldn't be this year. I think it's more likely, like you say, there'll be a crossover, just like a G1 Supercard had before, where it was basically AEW against New Japan, and looking back at the G1 Supercard, that was a fucking great show.
But if we're going to have a New Japan AEW show, you talk about fatigue and whatever, because if the American company, people who work for AEW are going to Japan, they're going to be knackered. If Japan going to America, they're going to be knackered. You do it somewhere neutral. You do it somewhere where it's not as bad of a time difference for both people. You do it in the UK. You do it at St. James's Park.
Sweet, I can literally just walk to it.
Yeah, I was going to say I can stop at yours. It's fine.
Yeah. All right, you're all welcome. We'll just stay here. We'll do coverage. We'll get press passes. We'll go.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that we could probably blag as much as we can to try and get press passes. But like, if AEW are coming, we're definitely getting tickets. Same again. If New Japan do another Royal Quest over here, I would definitely go to that again. That was one of the best shows I've ever been to. It was amazing.
Hell yeah. Well, we'll carry on with the New Japan and G1 stuff when we get to those episodes.